Hello YouTube. Alright, today I'm going to show you how to back up your computer the poor man way. I'm the poor man, and if you're anything like me, you're poor too, so anything free and that works is worth having. Alright, so what you got to do first thing is go to either Internet Explorer or Firefox, whatever it is you use. Go to Google and look for Ace Backup, all one word, and it'll be the very first link. You click it. It'll take you to this page. On the left over here, you'll see download somewhere, right here. Click download, and download Ace Backup. Now, once you download it, you install it. Once it pops up, it'll look like this here. You'll get this screen. Now, to create a backup of your computer, you need one of three things, actually. An external hard drive is ideal. Reason being is once you back it up, you can turn it off. And the more you can turn it off, if you back up weekly, which is what I do, it only turns on once a week for maybe an hour. So the lifespan of that hard drive will probably last years. I change it every 3 years, regardless if it's bad or not. If it's not bad, I usually just buy another external enclosure, throw it in that one, and now I have another external hard drive along with another backup. Hard drives are really not that expensive. So anyway, with that out of the way, external hard drive, definitely ideal. You can use a thumb drive depending on what you're backing up. If you're just backing up pictures, definitely a thumb drive is the way to go. You can leave it plugged in all the time. I have yet to see one die. Third option would be an internal hard drive. The only problem with that is it runs just as long as the other hard drive does. I mean, the odds of them dying at the same time are slim to none, but I have seen it happen. I've seen it to customers, and it has happened to me. So I definitely wouldn't really go internal. I'd go external or thumb drive, just depending on what you're backing up. Thumb drive's the cheapest route. If it's just pictures and maybe some documents, stuff like that. I mean, you can get a thumb drive up to 32 gigs now. That's quite a bit of space. So just keep that in mind. And on to the how-to. Alright, with Ace Backup, how you do a backup is actually pretty simple. You just click New here. A project name, you can call it, whatever you want. Okay. Now the destination is the important one. If you have an external hard drive like I'm using, this will probably say see my documents Ace Backup project. If you really don't want to back up to the hard drive you're backing up, that's just a waste. So double click this, and you can click this here. You can either go to network if it's a server, or even CD, DVD. I forgot to mention that. I keep mine on local system because I have an external. So you hit browse. My external is actually drive I. So you come down here. If you don't have a folder called backup, you can create one. Just click new folder. Call it backup. And just hit OK. Now your path should be your external drive letter, backup, or whatever you called it. Just hit OK. And hit next. Now this is all your encryption settings. I'll leave all this just the way it is. I mean, there's really no reason to encrypt it. It's your backup. I mean, if somebody steals it, it's got to be a friend or family members. So just hit next. Now this is the important one. You can either replace the existing files. So in other words, if you're backing up 100 pictures, every time you do a backup, it will replace those 100 pictures, whether they were updated or not. The second one here, I'm sorry, and if it takes, say, an hour to update those 100 pictures, every single time it does a backup, it'll take an hour. Okay, so the middle one here is update older files only. That's the one I use. So say you got those 100 pictures. If you add one picture to those hundreds that you're backing up, so now you have 101. When it does its backup, it'll only add that picture to the 100. It won't back up the entire 100. To create a new version is something like a system restore, kind of how it works. It'll back up all 100 pictures, say backup 1. Next time it does a backup, it'll back up all 100 pictures, backup 2. So eventually you'll have 300 backups. So just use the middle one. It's the fastest and it's the most convenient. So just hit next on that. All this you can either set it on a schedule. To do that, you just click schedule like I did. Click new. You can do daily, weekly, monthly, once, system startup, all these different options. I do mine weekly, and I do it on Fridays. Reason being is I don't use my computer on the weekends. So anything I do would be most recent on Friday, and I usually do it at 11 o'clock at night. And then just hit apply and OK. Now it'll ask you for a password. If your username doesn't have a password, just click OK. If it does, type it in. I don't have one on this username. So once you got that, just hit next and finish. Alright, now to add files that you're going to back up, you can either scroll through this list. The only problem with that is you have to know how to get to your pictures. If you don't know how, it's easier just to go to My Documents, find your Pictures folder. I have some in My Pictures. Okay, now, say it's your pictures. You left-click My Pictures, hold the button down, and just drag it over here. And just let it go. Now, you'll see this option down here says Process Backup Immediately. You want to uncheck that. Then hit Next and finish. Let me get rid of this. Okay, now I got my pictures ready to be backed up. But let's say I have some more stuff to be backed up. Say I got, I don't know, my documents. Left click, drag it. Just drag it over here and let it go. Uncheck Process Backup Immediately. Hit Next. And it adds them. And just keep doing that for stuff you want to keep backing up. If you don't want to back up something in My Documents, if you have a folder on your desktop that you want to back up, say my AMP stuff, okay, just left click, drag it over and let it go. Uncheck Process Backup Immediately and hit Next. And then finish. Once you're done, putting everything in that you want backed up, you just come up here to Project, go down to Processes, and click Process All. And as you can see, it's processing all my pictures, my documents, my AMP stuff folder, and it's backing up to my external hard drive I under Backup. I'm going to pause the video, and once this gets done, I'll be right back. Okay. As you can see, 155 items have been successfully processed. Took 23 seconds. So as you can see, it's a pretty quick little backup. Once it's done, just hit OK and close it. And if you want to verify that your schedules have been set, you can click Start, go to Control Panel, go to Scheduled Tasks, and you'll see it here, the Do-It-Yourself PC Backup Demo. So you can double click it. You can go to Schedule. As you can see, it's set up weekly, 11 o'clock p.m. on Fridays. It's when it does its backup. When when it does do its backup, you'll see it come up and say Processing Backup. If you haven't added anything to those folders or done anything with the backup files that you've added, the process will probably take a half a second. The more stuff you add to them, the longer it takes. If I was to do a backup now, it would be done instantly because I have changed nothing. So that's how you do a backup. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Ace Backup is free. So free is always good. And as always, if you guys want to know how to do anything or how to change any parts or do anything with your computer, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to make a video for you. Alright, YouTube, have a good night.